sing, shall we? We invite you to rise in body or spirit. Let's sing our gathering song. Gaudeamus Hodie. The entire text, this is one of those partner songs. The entire text is Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus Hodie. That means let us celebrate today. There it is. This is a partner song in 3 parts. First part goes like this. Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus Hodie. Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus Hodie. Now here's a funny thing about Latin. That H in front of the word Hodie is silent. It's not Hodie. Hodie. Just a minor thing. Let's sing that again. Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus Hodie. Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus Hodie. One more time to get it well in mind. Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus Hodie. Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus, oh. So the next part goes, Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus, oh. I think I messed it up though. I think I messed it up. Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus Hodie. One more time for me. Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus Hodie. Now there's the third part. Brett's playing it. It goes like this. Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus Hodie, Hodie. Do that one again. Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus Hodie, Hodie. Now, pick one of those. You have 3 to choose from. Pick one, whichever one you want to do, but make sure it is not the same one as your neighbor. Here we go. Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus. Gaudeamus Hodie.
Good morning. Welcome to the Mount Diablo Unitarian Universalist Church. I'm the Reverend Leslie Takahashi, and we're so glad that you chose to spend part of your week with us here in the sanctuary or on the live stream if you're joining us virtually this morning. We're really grateful to have you here, and we want to welcome back those of you who might be on campus for the first time after a long time. I know there's a couple of you. Wave your hand just for a second so we can all say welcome to those of you. Yeah, it's good to have you. It's great to have you coming back on campus. We're also grateful to have those of you who are visiting us today, and we hope that you will fill out a visitor's card either here on campus at our umbrella table, or if you want to also, you can do it online. So we hope that you will let us know that you've been here, and we will also have a special meeting for people who are visiting with us. Next Saturday, the 22nd, our Connecting You and MDUC class is happening. So you can sign up for that after service or online as well. So please do consider that if you're visiting with us. This has been a wonderful, we're in the very end. Tonight is our last night of hosting our winter nights guests, which we're so grateful to be able to do. And thank you to all of you who have participated. Give yourselves a round of applause for that. Because we are still hosting today, we would ask that you not use the restrooms in the Borton Hall, but instead use the restroom either at the corner of the White Building or in the Gilmartin Building, as we are preserving those restrooms for the safety of our guests. If you are here because you're excited about our musical service, we want to mention another musical event. Next Sunday, we will be honoring our musical elders, Marge Chapel and Deb Baltso, and so we hope you will show up for that event next Sunday afternoon. We want to make sure we give them proper appreciation for all their years of being part of our music program. If you did not notice today as you came in, our lost items at church collection has grown to be more than an 8-foot table. So some of them are outside, and perhaps before you leave, you could peruse and see if that's your plate or umbrella or coffee mug or water bottle that is there. They would love to go home with you, and we would love to not have them staying with us. So please see if you can reunite with them. Today we are having a congregational forum, which you'll hear about to continue our Together We Rise conversations, and we will also have this week our ministers class, which continues the conversation around intergenerational goals that we have here. And this Friday we will have the Devil Mountain Coffee House featuring Barrio Manouche, and we hope that we can get people out for this jazz, flamenco, and Latin American rhythm group. So welcome. There's a lot going on. We are so glad you're here at this beloved community.
Good morning. My name's Davina Smith. I'm a member of your Board of Trustees, and my pronouns are she and hers. Mount Diablo Unitarian Universalist Church is a welcoming faith community, and we begin our services by reading our church mission together. We bring to life our Unitarian Universalist values as we seek truth and work for justice, nurture compassion and courage, reach out to each other and to our larger community of faith, bridge the divisions that wound the human family, transform ourselves and our world. This community exists because of the time, talent, and treasure that our friends and members share. Please check out the Just-in-Time section of our weekly email in our newsletter and the Just-in-Time board in Borton Hall to connect and contribute. While we are no longer checking vaccination statuses, our expectation is that those who are here inside with us are vaccinated and fully boosted, and are symptom-free or have had a negative COVID test today. After having done ventilation testing of our buildings, we have made masking optional, though recommended. We will continue to honor one another's choices in covenant. A few more announcements. Please consider making your pledge to MDUC this week. We, the board, are in the process of making the budget for the next year, and pledges make up the majority of the income upon which we base that budget. So whatever you can give, please note it in your pledge for the upcoming year. Also, please join us after service today for a congregational forum. where we will continue our goal setting around the Together We Rise initiative, which leads up to our annual meeting, which will be the first Sunday in June. We need to have the larger quorum in that meeting, the first weekend in June, so that we can vote on changing the quorum requirements. So please, please mark your calendars so that you can come and help us make that change if you so believe. And welcome. It is good to be together.
And in the spirit of this morning's musical service, let us fill this sanctuary with a joyful noise by saying good morning to one another.
We invite you to remain risen in body or spirit, and let's sing together our invocation. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Good morning. I'm Jo Gelinas, she, her. The words for our chalice lighting this morning come from Marnie Singh. The chalice is the container, the space where the musicians and the listeners gather. The oil is the fuel, the hours of practice and the life experiences of everyone in the room. The wick is the instruments and vocal cords through which the music will flow. And the flame is the music which is created as if by magic. When the instruments are lifted, the breath is inhaled, and the downbeat is nodded. May this flame ignite the music within us all.
I'd like to invite those who are young and young at heart to come forward for a time for all ages. Oh, and your parents. I'd like to invite your parents to join you too. Well, good morning. My name is Marina, and I use she, her pronouns. And today I want to talk to you about music and memory and lullabies. Music is one of the most profound ways that I connect with people and with the world around me. My first memory of becoming aware of music was listening to lullabies that my mom sang to me. She would sing softly to me as she rocked back and forth in our favorite rocking chair. Her voice and the melody of the lullaby made me feel warm and loved and safe. And sometimes my dad would take a turn and he'd sing me to sleep too. This was a beautiful family ritual that is still really special to me now. As I grew older, I began to appreciate the ways that music played a role in my spiritual life. Just as lullabies are rituals that create a safe and nurturing environment that help a child fall asleep, praying is a ritual that helps us set intentions and create space for spiritual growth and connection. When I pray and when I sing, I'm creating a sacred space where I connect with my inner self, with my loved ones, with my ancestors, and with the divine, whatever the divine might mean to you. For me, thinking of music as a form of prayer helps me to express myself in ways that sometimes words alone just can't. When I listen to music, I'm not just hearing the notes and the lyrics. I'm also connecting with the emotions and the intentions behind them. Sometimes music makes me feel joy. Raise your hand if you feel happy when you listen to music. Sometimes music makes me feel sad. Raise your hand if you've ever felt sad when you've listened to music. Sometimes, especially with lullabies, music makes me feel love. Raise your hand if you've ever felt love with music. Are there any other feelings that come up for you? Does anybody else have a suggestion? Emotions? Anybody else? Yeah? Oh, I see a hand over here. Hungry. Does anybody felt hungry when they've listened to music? I see some hands back there. Yeah. So all of those, insomnia. Felt some insomnia? Oh, depending on the song. Yeah. Okay. Well, I would like to share with you a lullaby that my mom used to sing to me, and I invite you to get comfortable in your seat or your position wherever you are. If you, and for those who are watching virtually, whatever position you're in, get comfortable, close your eyes, and think of this as a meditation. Or think of it, somebody says, oh no. Think of it as a meditation, if you're willing. Think of it as a prayer, or a connection, or a reflection. Perhaps remember a time when you felt comfort, when you felt safe. Maybe you felt a connection to your parent or to your caretaker. This song is called Hushabye Street. The nightingale's calling, the first star in sight. The man and the moon softly whispers good night. Come into my arms where a dreamer can meet, a lullaby lady on Hushabye Street. Hushabye, baby, to a rockabye beat, and we'll go rockin' down Hushabye Street. Rock away through the morning, rock away through the night, rock away in the arms that are holding you tight. The last star of evening will soon fade away. A new star of morning will brighten the day. The lullaby lady, her vigil she keeps, till evening greets morning on Hushabye Street. Hushabye, baby, to a rock-a-bye beat, and we'll go rockin' down Hushabye Street. Rock away through the morning, rock away through the night, rock away in the arms that are holding you tight. Thank you. And now I'd like to invite you to sing your children to the classes.
So as we all know, there are a lot of wonderful professional and semi-professional musicians in this church. We are truly blessed. I want to make it clear to you all that I am not one of them, okay? I am a rank amateur, but we'll see how this goes. So I'm Jim Lincoln. I am the worship associate this morning, and this is the call to worship. When Michael asked me to talk about a piece of music or a song that was particularly meaningful to me, meaningful in a spiritual sense, I was kind of blown away. I mean, I love music. All music is spiritual. Ludwig van Beethoven once said, or was quoted as saying, that music mediates between the spirit and the senses, which I think is just about right. So where do I begin in trying to find, a song, piece of music that I think is spiritual that I would like to talk about? Well, now, it turns out that there is a whole genre of music called spirituals. So the naive person might say, well, why don't we look there first? And in fact, I personally have kind of a long history with spirituals. I was in liberal religious youth, LRY, back in the late 50s and early 60s. LRY was the high school group. It was disbanded by the UUA in 1981, I think it was, because it was sort of out of control. We won't get into that here. But LRY had a wonderful time at retreats and campouts and things of that sort. We were often taking off and singing spirituals and doing meditations and engaged in all kinds of activity, hopefully without adult supervision. That was part of the problem, as I think I have said before. So, among the spirituals that we sang, that you don't hear much anymore, but I still remember pretty well, are Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, going to me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, come and put to carry me home. Another is, do Lord, oh do remember me, oh Lordy, do Lord, oh do remember me. Do Lord, oh do Lord, do remember me, look away beyond the blue. But there was one in particular that we usually ended these campouts on, and legions of others at campouts and camping trips, scouting, all kinds of things also tended to end the singing on. Who might guess what that is? You gather around the campfire and you cross arms like this and hold hands, and you sing this song and you sway back and forth. Pardon me? Come on, you must know this. Kumbaya, exactly, Kumbaya. So what I want to do is talk about, I won't sing it right now, but at the end of my call to worship, I would like all of you to join me in singing Kumbaya. Okay. But what I want to do first is talk a little bit about the story of Kumbaya, and it's very interesting. There are two stories. One is a heartwarming story. One is a positive, good story. One is what I think Kumbaya really is all about. But more recently, there has emerged a story that is not so pretty, that is not so nice. And part of my motivation in talking about Kumbaya today is that I want to push back on this not so nice story, okay? So you'll know what I'm talking about as I get into this a little bit. Where did Kumbaya come from? Well, and why this word? Some people said, well, that's an African language. It was recorded in 1926 by an ethnomusicologist at Columbia University named Robert Gordon. And he went into the South and found a couple of people who were singing these songs. Didn't know about these songs before. He recorded it on a wax roll, okay? And these people, this community was the Gullah Creechie community. It lived in the Sea Islands, along the coast of Georgia, Carolinas down to Florida, okay? That is really the origin of the word. This is a fairly isolated community, African-American community, descendants of enslaved people. And they had kind of kept alive certain Africanisms, African language. And so there is some connection between Africa and the word Kumbaya. It's a Creole dialect, really. So that is the beginning. Now, in the 1930s, there was this guy, a pastor and a composer, who claimed that he wrote Kumbaya. He was the author. Well, that was just flat out false. But there was an upside to this charlatan, which was that he was fairly well connected, and he got the song entered in a bunch of songbooks and played on the radio and that sort of thing. So the song begins to spread. And soon after that, a publisher of books of camp songs, campfire songs, picked up on the song, and pretty soon campouts and scout troops and so on were singing this song everywhere. About this time, this was into the 40s, 1940s, folk music groups began to pick up the song, and there was a publisher of songbooks who I think I mentioned that already, but there was a folk singing group called the Folksmiths, and the Folksmiths' primary audience was camping outfits, camping groups, and so the song begins increasingly to become a part of the whole scouting and campout tradition. Okay. Became part of the folk tradition, folk singing tradition, and also was part of the civil rights movement and labor struggles and things of that sort. In 2010, Georgia, the state of Georgia, adopted Kumbaya as the official historical state song. And in 2017, the congressional representative from the area of Georgia where the Gullah people lived had it entered into the congressional record. This was partly a way of acknowledging the contribution of the Gullah people to culture. Okay, so that's a happy story, I think, of Kumbaya. It has had a lot of recognition. It's a heartwarming song. Pete Seeger once said that Kumbaya is a beautiful example of how the world's folk music continues to intermingle without passports or permission across boundary lines of fear and prejudice. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the story that's not so pretty. At some point in our culture, people began using the word kumbaya in a disparaging way. You have all heard this, I think, as a form of sarcasm and derision. If you, in fact, Google kumbaya, you are probably going to come across more references to the sarcastic and derisive term. Well, we're not going to sit around the campfire and sing kumbaya, that's for those silly liberals. The Urban Dictionary, in fact, defines kumbaya as to engage in a show of unity and harmony with one's opponents or enemies, frequently used in a disparaging or sarcastic sense. Okay. Now, I've been aware of this for a long time. This is mostly coming from the right, as you might expect. There was an ad featuring Secretary of State Madeleine Albright, and the thrust of it was she sits around singing kumbaya with terrorists. So you hear that sort of thing a lot. But some on the left, the progressive wing, also used kumbaya in this sort of sarcastic sense. I've always found this really troubling because I grew up with kumbaya. I mean, kumbaya was the song that our LRY retreats sort of ended on. It was warm. It's a cry for help. That's the origin, God, won't you intervene for good in our affairs? And to have it disparaged and used as a slur this way, I find really quite troubling. When you Google kumbaya, you will also find quite a few articles in the New York Times, NPR, etc., which say, the song hasn't changed. It's still a delightful song. It's a warm, heartwarming, humane song. But the culture has changed, and not necessarily for the better. It's part of our general cynicism, snarkiness, and polarization. I'm a UU. We're all UUs here. And part of my charge in life, mission in life, I think, is to push back on bad stuff. Bad stuff being this kind of cynicism and snarkiness and meanness and polarization and trying to hurt other people and casting aspersions that has gotten all wrapped up with kumbaya. It just breaks my heart. It really does. All right. So part of the reason that I chose this song to talk about this morning is we got to fight back. We can't deal with this anymore, Kumbaya is off limits to those of you who want to say mean things about other people. So that is my pitch, and now I would like to segue into singing Kumbaya. It's quite easy. Just follow my lead on this. Someone singing, Lord, Kumbaya. Someone singing, Lord, Kumbaya. Someone singing, Lord, Kumbaya. Oh, Lord, Kumbaya. Someone's praying, Lord, Kumbaya. Someone's praying, Lord, Kumbaya. Someone's praying, Lord, Kumbaya. Oh, Lord, Kumbaya. Someone's crying, Lord, Kumbaya. Someone's crying, Lord, Kumbaya. Someone's crying, Lord, Kumbaya. Oh, Lord, Kumbaya. Kumbaya, my Lord, Kumbaya. kumbaya, my Lord, kumbaya. Oh Lord, kumbaya. Come, let us worship together.
This is the time in our service when we take into the loving embrace of this congregation those joys and sorrows that are too great to hold alone. And I'm asking Michael to light the first candle for Mary Lemke, the wife of Bud Lemke and a beloved friend of MDUC, who has moved to Las Vegas and wanted me to let you know that she takes her time with this congregation as an adjunct member. She always considered herself an adjunct member of our congregation with her as she goes. And we hope we'll have a forwarding address in just a little bit when she gets settled. So we're thinking of Mary. I'm also lighting a candle on behalf of Mary Allen, who I know is here today, but we'll have Michael light this, to say, it's a great honor to let the MDUC family know that a longtime member, Martha Goralka, has been named Antioch Citizen of the Year. Her numerous volunteer efforts in the community are beyond exemplary. The theme that runs through her work is her quest for justice. We're so grateful for the difference Martha has made in Antioch, especially in the lives of children. So when you next see Martha, who was here last week, please congratulate her. Linda Russell has asked that we light a candle of appreciation for Tennessee State Representatives Justin Jones and Justin Pearson to say thank you for the modeling unwavering courage and truth-telling and the reminder to not only demand justice, but to expect it. And Linda is traveling today, but I know watching us on live stream, so thank you, Linda. Krista Bogart is in, our member Krista Bogart is in John Muir receiving important care, health care. The ministerial staff will be bringing cards, and those who know Krista are invited to make short visits. And in fact, if anyone is available to make a short visit this afternoon, please see me after the service, as Krista will really appreciate that. Les and Sue Polgar are back from their shortest European vacation ever. Sue tripped in Dresden and broke 2 pelvic bones. No surgery is needed, but a long recovery ahead. Sue welcomes cards and calls, and we're thinking of Les and Sue today. Tom Taylor is lighting a candle this morning. He writes, I've had a little health scare with melanoma and then a new knee soon, getting older. Our thoughts are with you, Tom. Thank you for sharing with us. We so appreciate you. And I'm asking Michael to light a candle for Isabel Johnson, who this week celebrated her 101st birthday. So I wanted to light this candle this week and next week because next week, Isabel's going to be with us after service, and we want to all be here to wish her happy birthday in person. So I'm letting you all know that. As many of you as can, we want to wish that to Isabel next week. So we will say that again next week. And I'm asking Michael to light 2 final candles. One holds those joys and sorrows that are within the sanctuary of our heart, but not expressed in words. And the other holds our hopes and wishes for this one imperfect but precious world of which we are a part.
special move. And she's dancing like she's never danced before. She's a maniac, I should know. And she's dancing like she's never danced before.
Hi, my name is Ananda, and I'm going to talk about why music is important to me from a spiritual standpoint. When Marina reached out to me to ask if I could do this, I was really excited because music is really present in my life. I listen to music a lot, sometimes for hours a day, and it's a really good way for me to relate to people and also escape from reality, escape from my own thoughts, worries, and troubles, and from maybe stress I have. I also do this a lot when I'm procrastinating, so probably not the best. But it's also a really good way for me to relate to other people, whether that's seeing windows into other people's lives and their thoughts and feelings, or whether that's seeing a reflection of my own life, thoughts, or feelings in other people's music. And that allows me to express my words in ways I may not have been able to otherwise. I also write music. This is a really good way for me to de-stress sometimes and to be able to express my own thoughts and feelings when sometimes no other music is doing that for me. And this is a really good way for me to express myself and get the words out. Finally, I dance. And in dance, music is very present. We warm up to music, we dance to the music, we go home and we count the music and practice some more to the music. And with the music, we have to study it a lot. Usually we'll look for deeper meaning in the music, and that allows us to find deeper meaning in our dance. We think about, why is this music important, and what is it saying, and how can we express that through our movement? And that's why music is important to me from a spiritual standpoint, because it allows me to express my thoughts and words and relate to others, as well as find deeper meaning in life.
Good morning. Wow, so exciting. Oh, such talent. I'm Janice Davis, a member of your Board of Trustees, and I use the pronouns she, her, and hers. The month of April has always been very special to me because there are lots of family birthdays, there's lots of baseball, there's playoffs and sports. It's very exciting in many ways to me. And one of the most exciting things, because I was an English major, is that April is Poetry Month. Yay! And Poetry Month, because I was an English major, I read a lot of poetry. I haven't written a lot of poetry. I am in great admiration of people who do write poetry, Amanda Gorman and Shakespeare and many others. And one of the people that I know sitting right here who writes haiku is our own Reverend Leslie. Yay! So poetry to me is like the music of words. And one of the things that I did when I was working as an early childhood educator was I wanted to introduce children, well, during the month of April, of course, because it was Poetry Month, but in many ways during the school year. And I like to celebrate Jack Perlutsky. He's a children's poet laureate, and he captures and expresses with humor when complicated feelings about the world around us intervene. And I like one of his poems in particular because it is haiku-like. 7 syllables, 5 syllables, that's what haiku is all about. He asks his young readers to guess who says, "If not for the cat and the scarcity of cheese, I would be content." And of course, throughout the book that he has written, it's called "If Not for the Cat." These haiku messages are very fun for parents to read with children, for teachers to read with children, but it also gives us a sense of humor and strength in ways to cope with what is going on around us. This is a month in April of figuring, of submitting forms to the government, of developing spreadsheets about further expenditures, and proceeding with hope in gathering pledge cards here at MDUUC. We applaud all of you who have promised to sustain this beloved community and all of you who give generously of your time and talent. And every week, we applaud those who give generously as the ushers come to pick up their offerings. And now please join me in dedicating the offering. To the work of this community in transforming ourselves and our world, we dedicate ourselves and our offerings.
I love that April is Poetry Month, and I'm appreciating all these beautiful gifts that exist in this community. And this morning I bring you one more, a piece of poetry by our very own Jane Russell. Ode to Music. Music, oh music, resounds in my soul, carries me to lofty heights, to depths of sorrow, brings forth fondest memories, a multitude of feelings, reverberates in my pulse, enters every pore. I hear music in my mind, hum it oh so soft, connects me with people in communities of love. When we sing, we are one, our experience shared. Music has a healing power, soothes the fragile heart. Music is a sacred gift, given freely to those who listen.
Good morning. I'm Sierra Lynn. I use she, her pronouns. And thank you, Michael, for inviting me to share some reflections today. I'd really rather talk than sing. I've said this all my life, and I've known it since I was a little girl. I'll start at the beginning. Trigger warning. In the early ages, in my very early life, I was silenced. Because of abuse and trauma, the rule was never talk about it. Don't tell. I became mute. I didn't speak for several years in childhood until the 6th grade, when a kind teacher invited me to be part of the school chorus. Wow, singing was amazing. It gave me back my voice. It gave me a safe way to express myself. So naturally, music became the center and core of my life since then. Teaching, drumming, singing in so many choirs and choruses and bands and a cappella groups, and it's always been such an awesome pleasure. Just as it has been here singing at MDUUC for the last 52 years. I signed the book in 1971. So whether it's singing with the band or the choir or hymns with the congregation, it's such a joy when we all breathe together, feel the pulse, and share our precious voices. Now we know that music is a universal language across all cultures, all races, all religions. It's a language of the heart. Music opens our feelings. It offers us communion that's beyond the realm of words. Words where we can get stuck in the mind mesh of all this discriminatory thought, judging, comparing, analyzing. Mind language or heart language? Well, we need both, but the universal language is the music of the heart. Not only universal, but cosmic. In fact, if you want to say hello to the aliens when they arrive, the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind shows us how they communicate with music. In one of the main scenes, the aliens speak using solfege and Kodai hand signs. So I want to share with you another musical highlight of my life. In 1992, I went to New York with Bill and with George Prawl, who was a past music director and choir director. Anyone here old enough to remember the Prawls? We went there to sing the Verdi Requiem in Carnegie Hall with the Masterworks Chorale from DVC. Since George was in a wheelchair, I was the one that helped him on and off the stage and helped him turn his music. So I got to sit beside him right in the front row, very center, with 5 choirs from all over the United States packed into the bleachers behind us, full orchestra in front of us, the timpani right there. You're going to hear a little clip of this music in a moment. So as you listen, imagine the cooperation it takes, the challenge of the music, the rehearsals, the feeling of belonging. Imagine the connection with the other singers, with all the musicians, with the conductor, with Verdi, with the audience. Imagine you get to be part of all that sound surrounding you. You really can't explain that in words. You don't need 5 choirs and a big orchestra, however, to experience that musical uplift. Music gives it to us every day, whether it's singing Kumbaya, listening to Johanna play the violin, hearing beautiful piano pieces. We can feel it singing around the campfire or even alone in the car with your favorite tunes. It's the beat. It's the feeling of our own voice vibrating through our body. That's the mysticism of sound. The rhythm and the harmonic vibrations, it's what helps make the dances of universal peace a powerful spiritual practice. It's been a blessing of mine to lead them for the last 24 years. In the dances, we move and we sing sacred phrases from all the world's religious traditions. It's a multicultural, interfaith, intergenerational event. We sing our prayers and praise in many languages, and we use our voices to deepen in unity. We embody the truth that all faiths point towards the same one. We sing to commune with holy presence. We sing to open our hearts with love. So before I go on and on too long about the dances, there's a prayer about love from the dances that I use when I sing with elder care in elder care facilities with dementia and Alzheimer's patients. These precious seniors really respond to rhythm, and boy, do they love to sing. It touches me that at the end of the life, stages when our minds become confused, when sentences get fragmented, when words disappear, heart language remains. Singing remains. So I'd like to end singing this prayer about love. I'll teach it to you line by line. There's only 2 or 3 lines. We'll sing it all together a few times. Then I'm going to call out just high voices sing, or just low voices sing. And then we'll end singing it all together. as we move deeper into the heart of love. So if you would rise in body or spirit, or you could do it sitting down. We'll begin by feeling the beat. The first line goes like this: deeper, deeper into the heart of love. You sing it. Deeper, deeper into the heart of love. That line goes twice. Deeper, deeper into the heart of love. The next line, letting go into the mystery. Letting go, and 3 times. Letting go into the mystery. The last line, rising in love. Rising in love. Okay, all together, digging deeper, deeper, deeper into the heart of love. Deeper, deeper into the heart of love. Letting go into the mystery. Letting go into the mystery. Letting go into the mystery. Rising in love. Deeper, deeper into the heart of love. Sing it out. Deeper, deeper into the heart of love. Letting go into the mystery. Letting go into the mystery. Letting go into the mystery. Rising. Let's try high voices only. Deeper, deeper into the heart of love. Deeper, deeper into the heart of love. Letting go into the mystery. Letting go into the mystery. Letting go into the mystery. Rising. Okay, low voices. Deeper, deeper into the heart of love. Deeper, deeper into the heart of love. Letting go into the mystery. Letting go into the mystery. Letting go into the mystery. Rising. All together now. Deeper, deeper into the heart of love. Deeper, deeper into the heart of love. Letting go into the mystery. Letting go into the mystery. Letting go into the mystery. Rising in love. Always in love. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Amalia Contreras. I'm 13 years old and in 8th grade. 2 things happened when I was 5 years old. First, my family joined MDUC, which was my first church experience. The second thing was I started taking piano lessons. Given this connection, for me spirituality and music are connected. At the same time I was learning to play music, I was also experiencing sitting in this congregation listening to music along with others. When I play piano, I'm able to get lost in my music, my only focus becoming the keys beneath my fingers. I feel a sense of calmness and security while playing because no one's bothering me or talking to me or forcing me to do anything, except for playing the piano. Listening to music is my go-to when I need a mood booster or want to be reminded of something. I have playlists upon playlists of songs, different genres of music from different moods, and combinations of songs based on which ones I like to listen to the most. The piece I performed today, The Clair de Lune by Debussy, is one that I have been working on for months. This piece is special to me because it's one of my very favorites. It's also a beautiful piece. It starts out slow and soft, and then it gets faster, louder, and more dramatic. The ending goes back to the same idea that it begins with. Spirituality is often associated with being the idea of something bigger than ourselves. I think that is very true about music as well, because music brings people together. Thousands upon thousands of people show up to concerts just to hear one band or one person perform. Taylor Swift broke Ticketmaster. All these people are bonded together by their love and admiration for this one person or group and their music. And here at MDUC, we get to enjoy amazing music every Sunday. My time at MDUC has led me to experience music at a deeper, more spiritual level, and in turn, become a better musician. I've been given many opportunities to perform at church, either by myself or with the children's choir, which has helped with my performance skills. I've also had the privilege of listening to and studying with Brett, which is such an inspiration. I look forward to continuing to deepen my spiritual connection with music in the years to come. Thank you.
We invite you to rise in body or spirit. Let's join in singing our closing song. May your life be as a song. May your life be as a song, resounding with the dawn to sing away the light and softly serenade the stars, ever dancing circles in the night. Again. May your life be as a song, resounding with the dawn, to sing awake the light and softly serenade the stars, ever dancing circles in the night.
A gentle reminder that we have a forum at noon today. I invite you to stay for this gathering. As we prepare to extinguish this chalice and exit this sacred space, may the music in our hearts sing songs of love, of community, of justice, and connection to each other and to the greater world.